Raising daughters. Raising daughters to be learn how to be feminine, to naturally be feminine and in their self-worth, and to be able to naturally, eventually, when they grow up into women, to naturally inspire a masculine man into taking care of them and cherishing them. That is what we are talking about today. Hello, I'm Zach Rohde, and I'm here to lead you into the relationship of your dreams using instinctual clarity and masculine and feminine communication. This is a topic that is very near and dear to my heart because I have a daughter who is now 2.5 years old, and she's the most precious thing in my life. And I am so grateful for her. And so I spend a lot of time thinking about how I am going to be raising her to give her the absolute best possible chances at succeeding in her love life and being able to attract a masculine man when she's older. And this is actually a question that I will often get a lot by women is how, how am I going to be am I going to be raising my daughter in the way that I teach women to show up in their love life, right? Like, am I going to be teaching her feminine communication? Am I going to be teaching her that she should be submitting to a man? All of this kind of stuff. And the question, or the answer, sorry, not the question, but the answer, of course, is absolutely yes. I am absolutely going to be teaching my daughter all of those things. Now, one of the specific things that has come up recently, a comment that I really want to go into is it's about like it's about, is there even a point of teaching a little girl to like go to school and to learn how to have a job and everything? Because one of the things that I teach is that women should not need to have to provide for themselves. They should have a man who wants to fully take care of them, financially provide for them, and take care of them in all other ways. And that the most important thing that a woman can learn is to be able to inspire a man to do that. And unfortunately today, women, that's like so not a priority. In fact, it's often the opposite. It's like, who cares about teaching women how to respect men, like little girls how to respect men, and how to basically how to be taken care of. Like, you don't need that. You're going to take care of yourself. You're going to be an independent boss, babe. You're going to learn how to STEM. You're going to be saving the world. You're a hero or heroine. And who needs men, right? That's basically the message that so many little girls are being taught today, and it is going to screw them up really badly, really, really badly. So the question is posed, like, would I teach my daughter how to be capable and independent and to get a job and all of that stuff? And the answer is yes, I would, right? Like, I'm going to teach my daughter not just how to, learn the skills to basically do whatever she wants in life as far as a job or to run a business, but also how to hunt, for example, how to protect herself, self-defense stuff from people, probably men who are not good devotional men. I'm going to teach her a whole bunch of things because she's not going to be like, nothing is guaranteed in life. First of all, I'm not always going to be there to take care of my daughter, and anything can happen, and anything can happen even if she's finds a man who does take care of her, which she will. He could die or whatever, right? So it's good for a woman to have these skills. And also a woman might have some kind of passion that she's really interested in beyond just, taking care of children and like her children and doing dishes and taking care of the house and all that stuff, which is fantastic. I have no problem with that whatsoever. What I do have a problem with is teaching women that should be the number one priority, number one, and little girls, that should be the one priority. And then number two, not giving little girls and women the skills and feminine embodiment to make that an option rather than like a requirement where like she's going to have to take care of herself because she doesn't know how to attract a masculine man to take care of her. She doesn't know how to inspire a masculine man or even an emasculated man to become more masculine and take care of her, right? These are skill sets that are basically lost for the most part, which is why when women find my work, even if they've been studying polarity for a while, it's all pseudo polarity, it's not real polarity that's being taught out there. They're like, oh my God, like I've been waiting for this my entire life. I've, a lot of women will say like, I've always been thinking this and feeling this, but nobody had ever been saying it in this kind of way. Well, yeah, this is the way that it's supposed to be. And including like the communication stuff that I teach, right? The feminine communication and the way that a man is supposed to lead a woman. So yeah, I will absolutely teach my daughter how to be self-sufficient in so many ways, but I'm certainly not going to be teaching her, programming her with the message that like, that should be something that she should have to do for much of the time or any of the time, right? Because ideally, I'm going to be taking care of her, financially providing for her, covering her until she meets her future husband who claims her and eventually marries her, at which point I will no longer have that role, or most of that role anyway. That'll be her husband, right? So she'll go from being provided for by me to being provided for by her future husband. So when it comes to the skill set that is so lacking for most women, it's the skill set of learning how to inspire a man to take care of them. Why is it so lacking? Why do so few women know how to do this? Well, number one, it's because if a woman was born into an unhealthy household where that's not properly role modeled, first of all, like the husband is not, like the father is not taking care of his wife and role modeling that for his daughter, then she's going to have a very skewed idea of love and relationships right off the bat. And then on top of that, if he's not treating her in a highly polarized devotional way where he's cherishing her, protecting her, creating really solid loving boundaries for her, not getting like triggered and being critical, like that critical unhealthy energy, all that stuff. If she's not getting that kind of love, that daddy energy love from her father, then she's going to get a really unhealthy imprinting that she's also going to carry on into future, like when she gets older and she's dating and talking to boys and men and all of that stuff. And then further, the other issue, and this is even much more, this is so prevalent, right, is that fathers are not teaching their daughters feminine communication and like formally how to respect a man. Formally. Because by the time that my daughter is, say, 6 years old, she's going to know feminine communication. She's going to know how to, fully submit to a man, which the first one would be me, of course. She's going to know all that because I'm going to be teaching her and I'm going to be correcting her when she makes mistakes in her communication, lovingly. Who's teaching that? What fathers are teaching that? There's actually, I'm going to go into this. I might do a separate video on this because it's a really great topic, but I saw a post of a guy that is, I guess I'm following on Facebook, who wrote about girl dads. That's what it's called, girl dads. And girl dads are basically men who they're not really that masculine, and they're cherishing their daughters in the sense that like they love them and all that stuff and treating them like a princess, which is fantastic. I fully support treating a little girl as well as your woman, like a princess. But part of what that means, it's not just that you'll do whatever for them and then let them lead you and say like, hey dad, like come pick me up in the mall or whatever, right? I would never tolerate my daughter telling me that. I wouldn't tolerate my daughter giving me directives, or my wife, because it's disrespectful to the masculine. It's disrespectful to the man who is taking care of them. I expect respect, which means that I want my wife and my daughter to be being permissive with me, to ask permission if they want things, to share their feelings vulnerably with me if they have a problem, and share their problems vulnerably, not be judging me, not be resisting my leadership. This feminine communication needs to be taught to every daughter, just like it needs to be taught to every woman who didn't get that in childhood, because that's basically what I do in my academy program for our students. It's like they didn't get that. They didn't get anywhere close to that kind of parenting, fathering in childhood. Many of them got really abusive childhoods, or neglectful childhoods, which is a form of abuse as well. And so we have to undo that by me and my coaching team basically stepping into that fatherly role and give them that love and care, the emotional and physical safety, and the mostly emotional safety because we're not physically present, and the like boundaries and directives around how to talk to a man. And of course, like to go further into this, it isn't just about respecting a man. It's ultimately about a woman respecting herself. Like, this is one of the big misinterpretations that a lot of women have around feminine communication, is like, first and foremost, it's for you, right? Yes, you are respecting the man, but when you're using feminine communication, it's not like you're using it to respect the man, because then you'd be trying to get an outcome. Then you'd be subtly leading. It'd be manipulation. Feminine communication is you because it feels good to be permissive, to not be leading another man, whether it's your father or the man that you're in a relationship with, your husband, your dates, whatever. It doesn't feel good to a woman when her feminine instinct is online. That feels terrible. Feels sorry, I'm just closing my Facebook here. I always forget to close them. Keeps notifying me. It doesn't feel good to do that. So really what I would be doing for my daughter, and what we do for our academy students, is we guide them back to their natural way of being. Because when a woman's using feminine communication the right way, it's like everything just flows. She's not trying to get any outcome. She's not leading or resisting. She's just sharing everything that's coming up for her. And it feels effortless and just good. And every woman, when her instinct is online, her feminine instinct, she wants to be led back into that. She might be terrified of it at the same time, but it feels good. It's the natural way of speaking. Just like for me as a man, it's like, I don't want to be permissive. I don't want to be vulnerable and sharing all my feelings. I can do it. I've done it before. It doesn't feel really powerful and strong, which is what my masculine instinct is guiding me towards. That's how I figured out all of this masculine and feminine communication, is listening to my instinct, like what feels good for me to speak, and also for my wife, what feels good for me to receive as a man, like what inspires me to want to take care of her the most. Like, listening to your instincts it's like there's so much valuable information in that. So yeah, that's what I would be teaching my daughter to do, so that by the time she's interested in men, boys, whatever, she's going to have absolutely no problem. Like, her biggest problem is going to be like, she's going to have way too many men that are interested in her. And especially if she's a really empathetic, compassionate type, she's going to have to learn how to deal with rejecting a lot of men. But this is something like, this is just so much more important. Like let's just put it out there as far as priorities here, just because it's so silly the way that our society is designed. It's like the difference between, if we're looking at priorities, just a level of importance, the skill set of being able to, I don't know, get a job and pay your taxes and put out a resume You're probably working for like $15, $20, $25 an hour. I mean, maybe you're a lawyer or a doctor, whatever, $50 an hour, $100 an hour, $200 an hour. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. So learning those skills, and then you get to go out and masculinize yourself and get probably burnt out. Probably, I mean, for the vast majority of women, you're not absolutely loving what you do. Of course, there are some exceptions. You have to do that. Like, you have to do that because it's not a choice. You have to do it to take care of yourself. So those skill sets. And then, of course, if it's just one or the other, like if we're doing this in a black and white way, if that's all you've learned how to do, now you have no idea how to attract a man and inspire him to fully take care of you. So now you're stuck having to use this skill set. You have to use it. What else are you going to do? Nobody else is there to take care of you. Or the skill set of learning how to inspire a man to take care of you and attracting those kind of men that want to take care of you. Now what? Now you're able to do that effortlessly. You find a really dominant man who's cherishing you, providing for you financially. He's also planning for the future, putting tons of money aside in case something happens to him. It's like, you're going to be well taken care of. And even if he did die, you're so good at attracting masculine men and inspiring them that you'd be able to bounce back and find another man in a year, 2 years, whatever, once you've finished processing everything. It's like, you're going to be fine. You will never need to work a day in your life. You'll never need to, because you're so good at that skill set. Now, you might choose to because it's fun. You might choose to because you have some kind of passion, like, I don't know, selling dresses on eBay or some kind of coaching thing or whatever, it could be anything. Being a teacher, if you're passionate about it, that's fantastic. There's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, it's 100% a choice now, because you don't actually need to earn any money. You're being fully provided for already. The other thing that goes into this is probably the last thing that I'll say is, there's a lot of self-worth stuff around this. Like everything that I am teaching my academy students, everything that we do in our master classes, which, by the way, we got one coming up in 8 days, learning how to heal your heart with polarity, how to shift your self-worth, how to shift your limiting beliefs about yourself, your self-judgments about yourself, your perfectionism, all of that stuff. The thing about self-worth is that for many women, because they lack self-worth, it's like they need certain things that they have to be doing to feel worthy. Now, in a relationship, that might look like, being the helper and kind of like the mother, the doer, maybe like the supporter, maybe the therapist. Even if you hate doing that stuff, it's like that's what gives you value in some kind of way. But also the same thing is true with a job. It's like, if you have been wounded and you don't fully recognize your intrinsic self-worth, you're going to use that job, career, whatever, as part of your way to feel good about yourself, to feel worthy of just being, or, to be with a man or whatever, when really you're already intrinsically worthy. You're already intrinsically valuable. You don't need to have any external trappings in any kind of way to be fully worthy and to feel fully worthy about yourself. You're already perfect and you're already beautiful. You just don't necessarily believe it. Okay? And so that's one of the ways that women can get trapped into masculinizing themselves in those kind of ways, because of the lack of self-worth. So then they focus on like, ooh, I gotta get the career, I gotta get the whatever, the success to be worthy. And then the more that they focus on that, of course, the less worthy they actually become to a man, because a man doesn't care about any of that stuff. And if you're masculinizing yourself, well, then you're pushing away the men that would actually be perfect for you. So the self-worth is everything. And learning how to be feminine is what is going to heal all of your self-worth. Learning feminine communication, learning how to let go of control, learning how to shift out of all the control patterns, learning how to fully feel and be in your body and stop judging, all that's going to shift your self-worth so that you can fully love yourself in every way. And of course, the more that you learn how to do that, the easier it's going to be for a man to do that as well and love you that way as well. So of course, for my daughter, she's never going to have to worry about healing that stuff, because she's always going to have that self-worth, because I know how to. It's not like I have to give her self-worth. It's basically already intact. I just have to not destroy it. That's what it comes down to. By having solid boundaries and leading her with love and care. And also giving her a feminine voice, teaching her feminine communication and all of that stuff. For everybody else, doesn't matter how wounded you become, doesn't matter what your self-worth is, doesn't matter how broken you might think you are, or how much of a burden you think you are, any of that stuff. You can heal it. You can heal all of it if you choose to. And the main way that you can do that, and the fastest way that you can do that, is with polarity. It's with polarity work. It's learning how to shift out of all these internal and external patterns. Get back fully into your heart. Fully let go of control. Become the feminine woman that you are. That's what we're going to be teaching you on our next masterclass. It's coming up in I think it's a week. So 7 to 8 days. This is the first time that we've ever done this one. We're going to be really specifically focusing on how to heal. There's going to be a lot of new stuff for any woman who has already done a masterclass with us. And if you've never done a masterclass with us, what the heck are you waiting on? Seriously. Like, these masterclasses alone can be life-changing for women, really opening up your eyes in a way that you just didn't see yourself or polarity or men before. Even if you've read my books, like, this is a new experience. We're going to show you just the energy that you're going to be in, and where we show you how to shift these patterns, how to love yourself by doing this work. It's going to, for many women, it's going to energetically supercharge you to get really serious about doing this and learn the path to take to actually shift it, like the roadmap. That's what we're going to give you. So join our masterclass. It's polaritymasterclass.com. We got 7 days to go. Go to polaritymasterclass.com, learn about it. I present it all there for you. Book your spot. I'll see you there. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Don't miss it. Do not miss it. polaritymasterclass.com.